a long journey led to this podium, a very long journey. A long journey led to BYU. That journey started in Tunisia as a child growing up in Islamic culture. Schooled in the West in something called Islamic art, which didn't mean much to me, the name Islamic art. What is Islamic art? Islamic art are just objects that are in the life of people, close to people. They are expressions of Islamic culture. So this so-called Islamic art actually gave me an understanding, a better understanding of my own culture. And it is that understanding that I wish to share. That driving force, which manifested itself in different projects of different kinds, led me to BYU. So, as many of the lenders asked me early on, why Utah? Why BYU? There is no Islamic art in Utah. I said, well, precisely. We need to take Islamic art to Utah. And why BYU? Well, here is a community, a religious community, who actually sincerely embraced the project, who is willing to cross bridges. And in the making itself of this exhibition, many bridges have been crossed. And that in itself is reinforcing to the message of this exhibition, that the exhibition actually departs at BYU, from BYU, is launched outward, is very powerful in itself. The fact that it crosses from west to east, all the way across America, that as many Americans as possible will see it, is just wonderful. It actually is totally coherent with the message of the exhibition. So now comes the task. How do you present so-called Islamic art as someone who grew up in the culture, who has been schooled in the West, and who wants to share this understanding? It's not a small task. Art history has established a way of looking at the material in a certain way. And that way of looking at the material is very positive because it has looked after the material for many years. And the time somehow has come to connect these objects to the culture that created them. So why the concept of beauty and belief? Because when you say the Islamic world stretches from Indonesia to Islamic Spain, up to 1492. So what is the Islamic world? How are you going to talk about one culture? Islamic culture holds many cultures, and it is that diversity that has been brought together by belief that inspired me to have this concept of beauty and belief, to actually have the journey of the exhibition walk across the path of unity. So along that path of unity, these objects that are gathered from all over the world, that are actually of different media, I mean, metalwork, ceramics, what you call Islamic art. These objects express a way of seeing, a way of being in the world. They express a different point of view. And it is that point of view that can be actually, released. The voice of the object needs to be released in the world. And as the exhibition is structured thematically, every theme is a point of encounter in terms of the culture, it's a point of encounter with the object, it's an intimate encounter. Islamic art is multi-layered. It is full of detail. The closer you look, the more you see. So the exhibition invites you to look closely, to try to unravel the beauty of this material and to unravel the cultural, messages that are within this material, in the hope that sight leads to insight. And so Where does belief come into this, in the creation of beauty? If you look at Islamic faith, Islamic culture, one of the sayings of Prophet Muhammad, Allahu jamilun yuhibbul jamal. God is beautiful and he loves beauty. It's all there. So that positions the onlooker, the beholder, somewhere else, not from the point of view of me as an art historian or anyone else, not even the point of view of the maker, but something much bigger. The makers of Islamic art are mostly anonymous. Most objects are not even signed. This makes Islamic art, so-called Islamic art, this makes these objects, in fact, an expression of a cultural aesthetic that is general. It makes them, it's this connecting aesthetic, this thread that connects the whole of the Islamic world can be found in the objects, and it is that aesthetic that can be communicated to the world and that can hopefully connect all of us. Thank you.